Part 1. You will hear a conversation between a man and a receptionist at a language school. The man is asking for information about English courses before making a booking.
Good morning, Harbor View Language School.
Hello, I'm calling because I'm thinking of enrolling in a short English course for myself and a colleague, and I was hoping you could give me some information.
Of course, we're a private language school specializing in short, intensive courses for adults. What would you like to know first?
Well, to start with, what kinds of courses do you offer?
We run general English courses, business English, and exam preparation classes. Most students choose general English, which focuses on speaking, listening, reading, and writing.
And how big are the classes?
We keep them fairly small. The maximum number of students is 12 per class, but the average is usually around 8.
That sounds good. And how long are the courses?
Our standard course lasts 2 weeks, with lessons from Monday to Friday. Each day includes 3 hours of classes in the morning.
Right. And when does the next course start?
The next one begins on the 6th of October.
That should be fine. Do you provide accommodation, or do students need to arrange that themselves?
We can do either. Many students stay with local host families, which we organize for them. Alternatively, you're welcome to find your own accommodation if you prefer.
What's included with the host family option?
That usually includes a private bedroom, breakfast, and an evening meal every day. Most families live within 20 minutes of the school by bus.
Okay. And are there any facilities at the school itself?
Yes, we have a student lounge with computers and free Wi-Fi, a small library, and a cafe on the ground floor. However, the cafe is being renovated at the moment, so it'll be closed until the end of the month.
Oh, that's fine. Are there any social activities organized for students?
Yes, we arrange activities 3 evenings a week. These include guided city walks, conversation clubs, and sometimes trips to nearby towns at the weekend.
That sounds interesting. What about students who are working during the day? Are there any afternoon classes?
I'm afraid not at the moment. All our classes are scheduled in the mornings only.
I see. And how much does the course cost?
The 2-week course costs £320 per person. Accommodation with a host family is £180 per week.
Does that price include course materials?
Yes, all textbooks and learning materials are included. The only extra cost would be for optional excursions.
Right. And how do I register if we decide to go ahead?
You can complete the application form online or over the phone. Once we receive it, we'll ask for a £100 deposit within 7 days to confirm your place.
Okay, that's clear. Could you give me the address of the school, please?
Certainly. It's Harbor View Language School, 18 Seafront Avenue, Brighton. The postcode is BN2 4RL.
Great. Thanks very much for your help.
Before we start, if you like learning English with us, please click the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Talk English Daily. Subscribing helps us make more fun lessons for you. And share this video with your friends or family who are learning English too.
Section 2. You will hear a talk by the organizer of an information day about training courses for workers in hotels, restaurants, and other parts of the hospitality industry.
Morning, everyone. My name is John. I've worked in the hospitality industry for 20 years, here and all around the world. I've done it all. Washing dishes in cafes, waiting tables, hotel work. I've been better at some of these roles than others, to be honest. But what I've always loved is the incredible variety of workmates I've had over the years. Today, I want to introduce some of the training courses available here at the college. So, today's program. This morning, there will be short presentations about different hospitality jobs. Then, this afternoon, there'll be workshops where you can explore these ideas in more detail. So, your first presentation is on restaurant service. Another session focuses on kitchen assistants who help the cooks in the kitchen. This is a great way to learning cooking skills. There's an amazing number of traditional techniques to learn. You'd be surprised how many top chefs in expensive restaurants started out as a kitchen assistant. But be warned, kitchen assistants arrive at work first and leave last, so think hard about whether you can cope with the commitment. The session about porters, cleaners, and dishwashers is a popular one. These positions are good for students especially because they require no experience. Dishwashers have to work late into the evening. No surprises there. A porter's role is more important than many people realize because guests' first impression are formed by the staff they meet on arrival. Cleaners will usually be doing shift work, which may or may not suit you depending on your situation. Another popular session looks at the role of the receptionist. This is a key role. You have to deal with every part of the hotel. So, having reception work on your CV or resume is often a good way of moving your career forward in the long run. But having said that, they can be challenging, dealing with people from all around the world. You have to already be good at working under a lot of pressure. You can't work out how to do it on the job. For any of these jobs, you'll usually have an interview. So there's also a session on interview skills. Now, frankly, for the less skilled roles, the interview will be pretty quick. But for some of the jobs I've mentioned, the interview is just as important as it is in other types of employment. Basically, the key to coming across well is the same today as it was when I started 20 years ago. And the good thing is, it's not too difficult to develop these skills with a little training and rehearsal. Okay, then this afternoon we'll have the workshops. They'll be held in various classrooms around the college. So if you have a look at your college plan, I'll tell you where they're going to be. Now, at the moment, we're in the hall. You'll see it at the bottom of your plan. So if you want to go to the workshop on restaurant service, go out of the hall and turn right. Walk along to the office, and it's the classroom immediately next door to that. For kitchen hands, when you come out of the hall, you'll see the square in front of you. Cross to the other side of the square, and you'll see a block of 2 classrooms. You want the one on the left. Now, porters, cleaners, and dishwashers. You want to find a block of classes on the northern side of the college. There's a long block of classrooms, and you want the one at the eastern end. For the receptionist workshop, turn right out of the hall and go past the office. Then head up north between the 2 sets of classrooms. You'll come to the first end room on your left, and it's the classroom directly opposite that. For those of you who are wanting to brush up on your interview skills, there's an interview skills workshop. You see that on the western side of the square, there's a single large classroom. That's in there. Okay, now let's move on to look at
Section 3. You will hear 2 psychology students, called Katie and Daniel, discussing how taking a walk can affect people's creativity and physical well-being.
Hi, Daniel.
Katie, you look as if you're off somewhere.
Yes, I was just heading out for a walk.
Funny. I was just reading an article about some research that's been done on the effects of walking on creativity.
Huh, sounds interesting.
I've always found walking helped me think, but this article confirms that everybody can benefit.
Oh, tell me more.
OK, but I may even do some more research on it at some point, so don't pinch my idea.
Promise.
Well, in the experiments, the researchers tested participants' creativity by comparing how many ideas they thought of while they were walking, compared to while they were doing other activities.
What, like listening to music?
Nothing like that. But they did analyse the ideas participants came up with when sitting, both outdoors and inside. What I found surprising was that they didn't compare walking to other forms of exercise, like running, for example.
Right. So what was the difference between the experiments?
Well, in each one, the activities were put together in different ways. Several of the experiments specifically focused on the ability of participants to come up with new ideas. Then the final experiment was a control test of sorts.
Oh, right.
In one experiment, participants had to think of unusual uses for 3 everyday objects within a time limit.
OK.
And then there was an experiment with words.
What did they ask them to do?
Compare words in unusual ways. For example, the word sweet. If participants simply said sweet as sugar, that wasn't creative. But an answer like sweet as a cat with honey on its paws was.
OK. I can see why they'd ask them to do that.
Really? I just don't see how the experiment is fair.
Why? Because the conclusions are based only on the researcher's opinion?
I think it's more that anyone who'd studied language would be at an advantage.
OK. Was there an experiment about focused thinking?
Yeah, there was. It aimed to find out if walking helped focused thinking, though I wasn't sure that I agreed with their findings. They decided that walking doesn't help this type of thinking.
What evidence did they have?
Well, that's it. I don't think there was enough evidence to support their conclusions, even if their methods were sound.
Well, I'd certainly hesitate before making such a bold statement.
Still, it's a first step, isn't it? I suppose to move forward with this, they'll need to test other ways people keep fit, like swimming.
That would be useful, but personally, I'd like to know more about the fundamental reason for the effect on people's creativity.
That would be good. Then it could be applied more widely in work, for example.
Again, that's secondary, really.
But how would you test walking if you wanted to assess its physical benefits?
Well, firstly, I'd like to know more about the benefits of different situations.
What about the effect of footwear?
Hadn't thought of that.
Well, I've read that shoes with thinner soles were found to be better for people's joints. It even made the skeletal structure tougher.
Interesting. Was that because they lost weight?
Not as far as I'm aware. And then there's walking in the mountains.
Walking in the mountains. I think I've read something about that. Doesn't altitude help people regulate their sleep patterns?
It's more that it improves your vision.
It must be those breathtaking views.
Yeah.
And what about the effect that walking has for elderly people?
Better balance by any chance?
More than that. It had a positive effect by helping them maintain their body clock's natural rhythm, both when going to bed and waking up.
Right. And what about the effect of walking long distances?
Well, a person needs to find the balance between their optimum speed and their natural breathing pattern. Once they're synchronised, they can just keep on going for much longer periods than they could before.
I can see how that would work. But anyway...
Part 4. You will hear part of a lecture about a fossil park.
Welcome, students, to the daily talk on the fossils found here at Green Mountain Fossil Park. First, I will tell you a little about the history of our park. The park is designed to educate you on what the environment was like in this area around 5 million years ago, when most of the area was at sea level and near water bodies, such as lakes and seas. These bodies of water provided moisture and significant plant and animal variety, which has resulted in the fantastic collection of fossils which you will see today. The fossils here were discovered by mine workers during the 1960s, and the park itself was open to tourists and students back in 1985. We have 3 types of fossils here in the park. The first are transitional fossils. These are rare fossils that appear to exhibit traits of the animal's evolutionary ancestors and its descendants, such as an animal showing both dinosaur and bird-like features. Next, we have preserved fossils, which are more common fossilized remains. These are fossils in which the structure of an animal or plant remains intact, and you can clearly see something like a plant or a fish. Thirdly, we have fossils which indirectly show the activities of animals, such as their tracks and burrows, and we refer to these as trace fossils. You may wonder how fossils are formed. Well, many people think it happens when organisms are caught in a volcanic eruption and are trapped in ash, but in reality these formations are rare. The most common way a fossil is formed is through petrifaction. An animal dies and becomes buried under mud or silt. Over time, the mud hardens around the bones of the animal. Eventually, the bones also decay and are replaced by minerals which form the shape of the fossil in stone. You will see many of this kind of fossil today. After you finish today's tour, you may wish to take home a souvenir. We encourage you to do so. There is a shop outside the park, but you can also make purchases from our exhibitions. The money raised helps to fund our work of preserving this wonderful site. Of course, you can also buy fossils and take them home. Please don't think that all fossils are expensive to buy. The majority are small and affordable samples that are as wonderful as the larger ones. Don't forget to check them out. As you can see, you all have some worksheets to go through here today. These will help you to learn as much as you can from your visit. There are also some tools you will find as you go around the site. For example, there are tape measures available beside each fossil so that you can note the dimensions of each fossil. This can help us to identify different species. We also encourage you to use your specially designed notebook to record as many different types of rocks as you can. Geology forms an important part of the study of fossils, and so we want you to focus on the types. If you brought a camera along with you today, don't hesitate to use it as the images of the fossils will be worth reviewing later. You may wish to experiment with the settings to see what they are like. Here in the Information Centre you can pick up an information sheet which contains some useful tips on how to do that. Last of all, you can practice using a compass. Even though you cannot locate the fossils themselves using the compass, it will help you find the sediments, which are the key to the location of the fossils. These are very soft, so to protect the delicate fossils, trowels and plastic covers are needed. You will find these throughout the site. Please use them. Please feel free to ask any of our staff as you tour around, and enjoy your day. We hope you leave us today with a greater passion to study fossils further.